Senator Schmitt joins us now with more on today's critical decision. Great job, sir. Of course, one of the frustrating things is that this kind of thing always takes so long. I mean, they knew what they were doing at the start. You heard it in those remarks. Would you agree? And I think with your Twitter, we saw that you understood that this was a ploy. This was not even serious, that they knew that it would be reversed?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's important to point out that this was, first of all, this is a big win for taxpayers, and it's a big win for the rule of law. I mean, there's just zero authority at all under the Constitution or any statutory authority that will allow the President of the United States with a stroke of a pen to wipe out $500 billion worth of student loan debt, up to $1 trillion. So it's a big win for taxpayers. It's also, a big win for working folks. I mean, a lot of people paid off their student loans or they chose a different path. For people to subsidize this, it's a fundamental fairness argument, number two. And number three, as you touched on, this is just a cynical ploy by Joe Biden to get votes. And I'm glad the Supreme Court saw it, our way and ultimately declared this unconstitutional. There's no authority for it. It's a cynical attempt. I'm sure they're going to be up to something new, but today we should celebrate the big win because it's a big win for taxpayers and the rule of law. Yeah,
it sure is. What's amazing with this also is that by doing this, they take time effectively to kind of illegitimately educate the American public that something's possible when it's not. And we've already got, we're all given the side eye to the federal government because, they're behaving funny. And then the President of the United States does this. And some Americans are going to think, well, this, what happened? And he thought we could do it. Doesn't this just make affect the legitimacy itself of the government, make it even worse for the average person watching this happen?
Well, I think, yes, and I also think that it's important what the Supreme Court did today, on top of some other decisions they made, whether this EPA case last year with the major questions doctrine. What you're seeing now, thankfully, is a narrowing of what these unilateral executive actions, what the impact they can have, or the broader administrative state. Our founders created a country that you spread out authority, you had separation of powers. These kinds of decisions are supposed to be decided with the People's Branch, the Article I branch, Congress, because guess what? You can send them there, you can send them home, you can send them back. These unelected bureaucrats, are exercising immense authority, and nobody ever voted for them. And so you've got that piece of it, and then you've got this unilateral executive action. Look, Tammy, I think it's important to remember now the playbook was set with COVID. Declare an emergency. Aggregate
Sure.
power and control. They did it with COVID. Yeah. They want to do it now with climate issues. They do it with student loans. So the playbook is set. We've got to be vigilant here, push back at every turn, because I think these are fundamental issues for our republic.
Well, one thing we really need to do, Senator Schmitt, is to have the Senate, to have Congress change the degree to which a president can maintain an emergency status for the country. They didn't want to let go of the COVID emergency because of what it let them do. Isn't that exactly the kind of thing that needs to change through Congress?
Absolutely. There needs to be structural reform for this. With emergencies, you hit the nail on the head. But also, look, if these are such good ideas, Congress should have to vote on it.
Sure.
Right? If you want to ban gas stoves, put that before the Article I branch Congress and let the chips fall where they may. I got news for you. A lot of these ridiculous and stupid ideas would never see the light of day because nobody's going to vote for them. But that's kind of the point. They want to move this radical agenda so that, people don't actually have a chance to vote on it, and we've got to put an end to that. So one of the things I'm fighting for in the Senate, this was a case that I brought when I was AG. One of the things now I'm bringing to the Senate is try to fight for this kind of structural reform to rein in and dismantle the administrative state.
Well, that's excellent, and that's exactly what we need, and the success of just moving it. We've seen that happen because of your work. Thank you, Senator. I appreciate you joining me tonight, and congratulations.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.